Alright, so hi, my name is Tracy, and I'm a full-time RVer. And this is Adventures in full-time RVing, I guess. Um, we started full-time RVing 5 years ago. We started because, well, originally it had been our dream to get an RV, camper, motorhome, and kind of travel around and see some things and spend our time living in the camper. But we had planned to do it with some money. Our plan was that my husband's construction business would make some money and we'd sell some houses and we would eventually go full-time RVing from that profit. What turned out to happen was that my husband became disabled. I've been disabled for many years myself already. My husband became disabled and we lost the business and we lost our home. And we turned that into a positive thing and said, okay, well, I guess the Spirit just wants us to go early. And we took what we had left and we bought a really, really cheap, really awful little leaks like a sieve camper. And we took off. Originally we tried to stay in a friend's backyard in Maine, but guess what? Can't heat a camper in Maine, I'll promise you that fact real quick. We were going through a 30-pound tank of propane every 2 to 3 days. A little too expensive to try and do that. So middle of December or January, can't really remember which, I think it might have been January, we said, okay, that's it, this is enough, we're out of here. And we took off for Perry, Georgia. Lots of fun stories about that original trip, and someday I'll share them with you, but it's enough to say that we ended up in Perry, Georgia, at a really cute little campground that I had found online. I didn't know anything about looking for campgrounds at the time, or the questions that you needed to ask, or the things that you needed to know. And that's some of the reason I wanted to do this, to help people understand there are things that you want to know. There are questions you want to ask. I want to make sure, does the campground sell propane? So you know, can you get your propane there, or do you need to go somewhere else to do it? Does the campground have a laundromat? Or do you have to go someplace else to do your laundry? What's some of the other things? Do they have internet? And even if they do, don't think that that means that the internet is good. So one of the questions I generally ask is, can I bring my own internet in? Because I tend to stay for more than 4 or 5 months at a time, which means it is appropriate for me to be able to bring stuff of my own in if I can. And some campgrounds will let you and some won't. The one we were headed towards, which we didn't quite make it to, was going to let us bring in our own Wi-Fi. But the one that we are at probably won't. We aren't here because of choice. We're here because we got stuck here. And that's another thing. Remember that, emergencies happen. Keep yourself ready for about anything. And try to keep some extra funds for emergency happens. Unfortunately, we didn't have the emergency funds this time. We kind of got a little bit stuck, but we're here. At least we're safe. The nice thing about carrying your house on your back is wherever you go, all your stuff's with you. Trying to think of some other questions you should ask when you call a campground. Things you want to know. How big are the lots? Make sure you tell the campground how big your camper is, however big that is, and if you have a slide or not. And the reason for that is because there's one of the campgrounds we stayed at had very small lots, and couldn't accommodate for a slide. That was nice. Just had a fella roll by me in a golf cart, asked if I had Wi-Fi. Hi! Anyway, rolled past, asked if I had Wi-Fi, and he's going to fix it here in a moment, which sounds good. Hopefully it'll be fixed before my husband wakes up. I'm going to do some more taping in the house in a little bit. Got a lot more I want to share with you. I'm going to wrap this up, and we'll talk a little bit more later on. And as time goes on,